If you own a diesel vehicle, you're probably making a critical mistake that's costing you thousands in repairs. Most diesel owners operate their engines completely wrong, and today I'm going to reveal the truth about proper diesel RPM usage that could save your engine from catastrophic damage. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more automotive tips, and share this video with anyone who drives a diesel. Drop a comment below about what RPM you usually keep your diesel at, or ask any questions about diesel engine operation. Let's get started. The most dangerous diesel myth. The biggest myth in diesel driving is that keeping RPMs as low as possible saves fuel and reduces engine wear. While this might sound logical, it's actually destroying your engine from the inside out when applied incorrectly. Most diesel drivers cruise at highway speeds in the highest gear possible, keeping their RPM gauge hovering around 1,200 to 1,500 RPM. They think they're being gentle on their engine and maximizing fuel economy, but what they're actually doing is creating the perfect storm for carbon buildup, turbo inefficiency, and premature engine wear. This is especially dangerous when the engine is under load while operating at those dangerously low RPMs. How diesel engines actually work. To understand why low RPMs are wrong, we need to dive into how diesel engines actually work. Unlike gasoline engines, diesel engines rely on compression ignition, and diesel fuel burns much slower than gasoline. This slower burn time is actually perfect when the engine is running at around 1,800 RPM. At this sweet spot, the combustion process has enough time to burn completely, extracting maximum energy from every single drop of fuel. However, this ideal RPM range can vary slightly between different engine designs. When you operate below this optimal range, especially under load, you're not giving the diesel enough time or the right conditions to burn completely. This leads to incomplete combustion, which creates carbon deposits throughout your engine. The carbon buildup problem when you consistently run your diesel at low RPMs, especially under load, you're setting the stage for serious carbon buildup on critical engine components. This black, sticky material accumulates on your pistons, cylinder walls, intake valves, and fuel injectors. The problem is even more pronounced in engines without active cleaning systems or those that spend a lot of time idling or lugging around. Carbon buildup acts like an insulator, creating hot spots in your combustion chamber. These hot spots can lead to overheating, uneven combustion, and eventually engine damage like cracked pistons and warped cylinder heads, usually after a long period of neglect. Turbocharger damage from low RPMs. If your diesel has a turbocharger, and most modern diesels do, low RPM operation creates a perfect storm for turbo damage. Turbos need exhaust gas flow to spin up and create boost pressure, but at low RPMs there isn't enough exhaust energy to properly spool the turbo. When you're driving at low RPMs and suddenly need power, like going up a hill or merging onto a highway, you put your foot down expecting the engine to respond. However, the turbo isn't spooled up, so you end up with poor performance and excessive exhaust gas temperatures. This combination of high load and low RPM is one of the fastest ways to stress a turbocharger, especially if you do it repeatedly. The exhaust gas temperature danger. One of the most critical aspects of diesel operation that many owners completely ignore is exhaust gas temperature, or EGT. When you operate at low RPMs under load, your EGT skyrockets to dangerous levels. We're talking about temperatures that can exceed 1,400 degrees Fahrenheit under heavy sustained load with poor air-fuel ratios. These extreme temperatures literally cook your engine components from the inside out. Professional diesel mechanics know that high EGT combined with low RPM operation is a major contributing factor to premature engine failure in diesel vehicles. It's a scenario you definitely want to avoid at all costs. The optimal RPM range. Based on extensive research and real-world testing, most diesel engines operate most efficiently between 1,800 and 3,000 RPM. This is where the magic happens for your engine. However, some engines, especially heavy-duty or low-revving types, may have peak efficiency closer to 1,600 to 2,200 RPM, so always consult your vehicle's manufacturer guidance. At 1,800 RPM, the diesel combustion process really lines up perfectly with the piston stroke. The fuel has enough time to burn completely, the turbo is fully spooled up and providing plenty of airflow, and your exhaust gas temperatures stay in that safe zone. Remember to like this video if you're finding this information helpful, and don't forget to subscribe for more diesel tips and automotive knowledge. Practical RPM guidelines for different driving situations. For highway cruising, you should aim for somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500 RPM. This range can change slightly depending on your engine's gearing and torque curve. For city driving, keeping it above 1,800 RPM helps ensure your engine runs clean and efficient. When you're towing or climbing hills, don't be afraid to let the RPM climb to 2,500 or even 3,000 RPM. Your engine is designed for these short-term, high-demand situations. This really changes how you should think about selecting gears. Instead of always picking the highest gear possible, choose the gear that keeps you in the optimal RPM range. Gear selection strategy. For automatic diesel vehicles, consider using sport mode or manual shift options when available, or simply avoid the ultra-low RPM ranges that eco modes sometimes force. If you're cruising at 65 miles per hour and your engine is turning 1,400 RPM in 6th gear, drop down to 5th gear and let it run at 2,200 RPM. Yes, you'll hear the engine working a bit more, but this is totally normal and healthy operation. That slight increase in engine noise is nothing compared to the sound of a rebuilt engine or having to replace a turbocharger. Your diesel is designed to work, not to whisper along at dangerously low RPMs. The fuel economy misconception. You might be wondering if higher RPMs will hurt your fuel economy. This is actually another confusing misconception that costs diesel owners money. While it's true that running at higher RPMs uses more fuel per minute, operating in the optimal range actually improves your overall fuel efficiency. When your diesel burns fuel completely and efficiently, you extract more energy from every gallon. When you operate at low RPMs with incomplete combustion, you're literally wasting fuel. The unburned fuel becomes carbon deposits and heat, providing no useful work to move your vehicle forward. Cold weather starting tips. One final tip that's crucial for diesel longevity is proper warm-up procedure. When you first start your diesel, especially in cold weather, let it idle for 30 to 60 seconds, then drive gently for the first few minutes. Don't jump straight to optimal RPMs with a cold engine. Gradually increase your RPM as the engine warms up. This prevents thermal shock and ensures proper oil circulation to all components. Cold diesel fuel and oil need time to reach proper operating temperatures before you can safely operate in the optimal RPM range. Your diesel engine is designed to work, not to barely idle along at dangerously low RPMs. Operating in the 1,800 to 3,000 RPM range isn't hurting your engine. It's how diesel engines are meant to be used. Just remember that sustained operation at the high end near redline should be reserved for high-load situations only. Stop babying your diesel with ultra-low RPMs and start operating it in its designed range. You'll discover what these engines are really capable of, and your wallet, your engine, and your driving experience will all improve dramatically. The goal isn't to make your engine work harder, it's to make it work smarter. For diesel engines, working smarter means working in the optimal RPM range where combustion is complete, temperatures are controlled, and efficiency is maximized. Thanks for watching, and if you found this information valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe for more automotive tips. Share this video with anyone who drives a diesel and let me know in the comments what RPM you plan to target from now on.